Welcome back, MTG Joe here. The new set, the new DLC really is what it is. March of the Machine Aftermath is here on MTG Arena. We're trying out our first few decks of the format, and we're going to try out a deck from Ash Lizzle, another content creator, plays a lot of Rakdos Sack, and is built around Nixilis, the Captive Kingpin. So this is a 4-mana 4/3 flying trample. Whenever one opponent loses exactly one life, you put a 1/1 counter on Ob, and then you exile the top card of your library until your next turn. You may play that card. So we're playing this in a Omnicult Anvil deck. So notably, Anvil deals 1 damage when you activate it. So it's a way to kind of get that instant activation. We also have ways like the Voldaren Epiture to ping for a damage, Invasion of Asgol, which loses a life. And then we're kind of a steal and sack style deck. So we have Furnace Rains to steal stuff. And then Braids that can sack. Vran makes your opponent lose life when things die. We have the new Village Rites in here, Annihilating Glare removal. So we're going to give this a shot. There is notably a combo with All That Is All Be One. All Will Be One. All Will. So this basically is an infinite combo with Ob. I think it's a little like gimmicky. It does instantly win you the game provided you provide a damage, but I think in best of 1 at least we want to be more linear. So we're gonna give this a shot, see how it goes. I've really not played much this month. We are still platinum gamers, but we're gonna try out some stuff. There's a deck that I think, like the Enchantments deck that I've been playing in best of 1. I'm like 21-5 with it, and it did get an upgrade with Calyx. That we need to reconfigure the deck a little to play with it, but it's another kind of card advantage in the sense you can make copies, as well as similar in the sense that you can put counters on things. So give this a shot, see how it plays out. We go first. I think this hand's fine. We have Witness. I think we just want to curve out. Depending on what they play on too, we want to have access to this invasion potentially. Okay, so we see Jund Triumph. This is Domain. So here, sacrifice. We really wanted land here. Kind of unfortunate. We can steal Atraxas, which are nice. If our deck decides to cooperate. Fortunately, think we need to do this. Try to hit a line drop here. This can't block yet anyways. If they go to the battle, then it gets them to potentially 7 lines. Just see second Topiary. So they could potentially attack as of next turn. While I can get Ob going, Ob's not the best here. This does let me do a treasure, but I don't have a sack outlet for it. I think we just do this. Opponent's hands come together really nice. Ours has been the complete opposite, just kind of stumbling. Okay, so they're on the Itali version. So we want to try to find like a Village Rite style effect. Ossification does come down. And they got Blood Tithe, so they can do the haste here. think I need to maximize trying to find my village rights effect. Okay, so we did get Corrupted Conscience. Or Corrupted Conviction. As much as it pains me, Ob's gotta go, I think. Annihilating Glare is also really nice here, so I'm gonna start by yoinking you. So I think we go Braids here. Because now with Braids I get to sacrifice Atali. Then either they sack a creature, which is fine. Probably taking the damage this turn. They drew very well. The problem as well is, even though I have the Furnace Reigns, I can't actually attack. So they crew here. So I could either corrupt it here, or I can... So target you, sack you. So we do kind of deal with it here, which is nice. While they will get some draw effects, they do have this corrupted. They also have at least a blood token. Another Annihilating Glare is not bad. If they hit something big, we might be able to get them. They discard Sunfall. They just Archangel of Wrath. Interesting that they just say, oh, I'm just dead. Talk about top decks. We don't miss that land early, we maybe have a chance. But we stumbled on lands and then just didn't get to curve out. We were playing from behind. Because we could have got rid of one of their Topiary Stompers that turn, but I think it was important to set up for an earlier Fable, just also fix our hand. We can see some of the synergies. We obviously didn't get it all together, but this hand looks a lot better. A little painful, so we do need to be mindful. Cool thing, if your opponent has pain lines, it triggers off Nixilis. So do this in case they have an aggressive start. Okay, this could be Enchantments. Let's go Vran here. So Vran is basically like a Blood Artist effect, but for only you and once per turn. It does kind of slow them down for the turn. That could get out of hand. I think we're binning these two. So they could trade with the Unlucky Witness here, but it's not a great block for them. Hopefully this last game we didn't see any lands. This game pretty much just Voldarens and lands. Opponent did miss a line drop. See Jukai. Okay, so we have Sokuzen. So I know that they can just eat it with the Jukai. But I do think it's important. We have this as a channel effect. And then we can start sacrificing the Unlucky Witness. Okay, so we see Visitor. So this is where it's going to start getting to be a little bit of a problem. We do need something to answer this Jukai Naturalist ideally. So they likely get the Reflections of Kiki here. We might see an attack by them. So we'll do this. I think this is a good trade. Blood Tides. So they can do a trade here with the Sokuzen token, but we're continuing to pressure them. And then with this, I also have the ability to loot the blood token if we get a bad draw. Anvil would be nice. So they hit their land. So they could get the Jukai back. But they're losing this race right now. Exile target creature. So we do have we would have loved a sack outlet there. They can discard a card here, but we're pretty wide now, and depending on what they have, well, they can get back, fortunately they did have two Naturalists. They can get back a Naturalist, but I can potentially get rid of it with the Blood Tithe Harvester. It does come into play tapped, which is beneficial to us. Catilda is a problem. Invasions gets a sack. It's kind of annoying because we're like 1 damage short. That should be lethal. Because now we just go to end step, sack an artifact. They don't have artifacts. And now they lose. Got him! Alright, that worked out pretty nice. Haven't had a chance to show off Ob yet. We had it in the first game, but we were mana screwed. The second game, we drew a whole lot of lands. Usually with this deck, once you cap up at about 4 lands, you can just hold other lands to cycle. This hand looks good. Double Braids is a little iffy, but it's pretty much a must answer. Don't play Duress. Don't play Duress. So with Onicult, we can get this going. Ideally, we draw land so I can cycle one of these. Okay, so since Rakdos, they could have a Braid. Kill that. Loot away a Braids. I think we just do Braids here. No attack. Sack this. Because the problem is I don't have any other artifacts to get this going, so I ideally want to have it so I can do 2 of these. With Fable, it's nice here. This could be that they're using the Blood Tithe Harvester in conjunction with a Cut Down. Okay, so they go Duress here. My hand's loaded, so have your pick. Okay, so they get rid of Fable here. Second Blood Tithe. Okay, so that's actually good, because now I do this. And now I have 2 tokens, so they need multiple pieces of removal. And then with access to Glare, I can also use this Braids to start sacking them. Okay, so that's a good sign. Likely that they're missing mana. Apologize for the dog outside. So don't need to trade here. We want to keep access. So that's actually really good because it taps them out. And then with Sokuzan, it's also nice here. And then I think we hold this. So you sack 1, you get 2 back. Now we have access to kill one of these if needed. We can answer Sheoldred, which is nice. They did cycle a blood token, which is good because it means that they can't just outright with Blood Tithe Harvester kill my Braids. Okay. So go for the throat there. I think we just do this. Whichever one they block, we sack. Get some drains going. We should be able to just out attrition them here. Maybe should have held on to that actually with Fable. don't really have a need for 5 lands, so that was probably something to keep. The only caveat is I didn't have the triple black. But we have seen our 2 braids already, and that's our only double black. Still think Sokuzan has utility, just being 2 more bodies. These decks usually don't have access to Sweeper's main. Do have access to Takenuma. They can crew here, but if that's their whole turn. So we'll get in the damage here. Boom, 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 boom. Alrighty. So when we're hitting our line drops, it's been pretty good. That first game, opponent just went a little bit bigger than we did. We almost actually stabilized that first game. We just didn't, like, if they didn't have the angel to kind of perfectly get us there. But we're drawing cards, we're pinging. This deck is infinitely better when you have Anvil versus when you don't. I think we keep. Opponent goes first. Yeah, let's try it. I want to hit lands anyways. Perfect. So you usually want to attack in first here. Just in case they did kill it. Then I have access to potentially a land. This is good because then I can get Anvil going, but we probably go Fable. Opponent missed. Yeah, so Make Disappear comes down. That's fine. Opponent concedes. That's also fine. Alrighty, going in the right direction. Give this one more, see how it plays out. As always, the important thing is to see, like, you're going to lose some games, you're going to win. Was it a circumstance of the mana base? Was it just your opponent beat you? So, like, this hand's really not doing much. We have Village Rights, but nothing to actually do it with. This hand looks a lot better. I think in the dark, it's probably actually Furnace Rains. So we go Blood Tithe here into Anvil. So we do need a land here. Opponent might get a little ambitious and try to attack in, but Scroll's kind of annoying for us. Just haven't had luck with because now we do have to hit Scroll here. And I do want to hit a land, so the question is, like, Probably Village Rites. Okay, if I can get Anvil going, it'll be good. I think this is a fine trade. Second adversary. Okay, so we did hit Sokuzan. Question is, do we ob this turn? I think we're just going to go with Fable. Okay, so we'll take the Adeline hit here. Well, Darren's also nice. Because I do need to kill this Adeline. I attack in here. That does that. I do Ob. Annihilating Glare. Sacrifice. Do that with Fable. Do that. So it's actually 0 here. No. Yes, no. I hit Thalia. No, it's gotta be. I think we do this and just set up for next turn. Could have been wrong. Could have probably just attacked. Especially now that they hit second Adeline. So we do have Fable here. Takanuma is also nice. So if I do you, I get enough treasure from you as well. So depending on how they attack here, they do need a removal spell. That's fine. So you go there. This gets a counter. Braids is also nice here. I think we do braids. I sack this. Okay, so they have the Lord effect here. So block here, block here, block here. My concern is I might not have access to a treasure token, but we probably have to do everything like this and just hope for the best. Okay, invasion's nice, as is that. You sack a creature. I would love to draw a card. Don't mind if I do. So we'll do this, get Ob bigger. Second invasion's also nice. And then I just smack face, smack face. Alright, so last game we did get Ob going. So that was pretty sweet. Came back from a couple Adelins, a pretty wide board, and was able to just keep it together. We saw the card advantage. Once you get going, you pretty much churn through a lot of your deck. Our deck's very cheap as well. So that's it for the deck. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll catch you next time. Hope you have a great one. Stay safe out there.